Hello again, and thank you for taking time every day, and welcome to another episode of Words of Life. I want us to look at a section that I myself have kind of pondered on before, where don't necessarily what to make of it until you read about it, and for you, when you look at it, it might just be plain as day. But it's just one of those things that just makes me scratch my head until I've looked at it more closely. And really humble and uh, courageous and bold at the same time. And what I want us to look at is from Genesis chapter 18. Again, Genesis chapter 18. And it's in the context of an interaction between God and Abraham, or at least God's messenger and Abraham. And as we're finding out at this point that God has made his presence available in whatever form to Abraham, and he is letting him know that something's getting ready to happen, and he's going to be directly affected by it. And Abraham is, of course, is no doubt surprised by what the Lord is getting ready to do. But we must remember out of this that and that's the main takeaway I want you to think about, and that we can come before Him with prayer. I just want you to kind of think about this. Does this ever happen to you? Oh Lord, I need to add one other thing, or I forgot this, or let me add this to my prayers. Sometimes when I'm thinking, oh, I forgot this, or I forgot that, let me just add one other thing. Not only I want you to keep that in mind, and how we approach God, and sometimes there is much that we ask of God, and of course I pray that we're asking in the right manner, as we will see Abraham very much does. That's something that we have to be, of course, make sure that we are doing, but as well, making sure that we're doing in such he understands what is in our hearts better than we know ourselves. But let us just go ahead and read this section, and we'll make just a few additional comments. And we're going to begin in verse 16 and read to the end of the chapter of Genesis chapter 18. Then the men rose up from there and looked down toward Sodom, and Abraham was walking with them to send them off. The Lord said, "Shall I hide from Abraham what I'm about to do? Since Abraham will surely become a great and mighty nation, and in him all the nations of the earth will be blessed. For I have chosen him so that he may command his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing righteousness and justice, so that the Lord may bring upon Abraham what he has spoken about him." And the Lord said, "The outcry I will go down now and see if they have done entirely according to its outcry, which has come to me, and if not, I will know." I want to pause there just for a moment. Another thing that we see here in this narrative, in this context, and that we always need to make sure that we understand that God is just. Sometimes we don't think that God knows what He is always doing, or we may question uh, if we truly believe that God knows what He's doing, that He's always going to do the right thing. Maybe you never questioned that, but I think some of us have questioned, God, what are you doing in this situation? But here we know and see a clear example of God very much doing the just and righteous thing. Continue on in verse 22. He was able to be in the presence of the Lord, had that opportunity, whatever that might have been, just how wonderful that experience. But under the circumstances, it must have been also very stressful, as we will continue. Verse 23, Abraham came near and said, "Will you indeed sweep away the righteous and the wicked? Suppose there are 50 righteous within the city. Will you indeed sweep it away and not spare the place for the sake of the 50 righteous who are in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to slay the righteous and the wicked, so that the righteous and the wicked are treated alike. Far it be from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth deal justly?" So the Lord said, "If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare the whole place on their account." And Abraham replied, "Now behold, I have ventured to speak to the Lord, although I am but dust and ashes." Humility, so you see there. Verse 28, "Suppose the 50 righteous are lacking 5. Will you destroy the whole city because of 5? And he said, "I will not destroy it if I find 45 there." He spoke to him yet again and said, "Suppose 40 are found there." And God said, "I will not do it on the count of the 40. Then he said, "Oh, may the Lord not be angry, and shall I speak? Suppose 30 are found there." God said, "I will not do it if 30 are found there." And he said, "Now behold, I have ventured to speak to the Lord. Suppose 20 are found there." And he said, "I will not destroy it on the count of 20. Then he said, "Oh, may the Lord not be angry, and I shall speak only this once. Suppose 10 are found there." And he said, "I will not destroy it on the count of the 10. And as soon as he had finished speaking to Abraham, the Lord departed, and Abraham returned to his place. My goodness. Just the ability to ask the Lord over and over again to spare individuals, and for the sake of and bring these things before the Lord. That's just incredible. And I hope that we have the ability to do the same, to speak up, not only in our prayers to the Lord, but speak up when we need to speak up for the Lord, for His gospel, and to be able to be willing to pray for others and to do things that are according to God's will. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we can be caught up in things that we shouldn't, and our relationship with the Lord is not as it's supposed to be. And hopefully that is something that we're willing to acknowledge and take care of and make it right before it is too late. But I like sections like this where it just shows us that we can come to God with our request, and of course they will be responded to if it's in accordance with His will. And loving God, let us never doubt that. Let us never doubt that He's also just and righteous in all His ways. That can be difficult for us to wrap our minds around when we can see so much chaos and sin going on in the world, and we just may think, well, where is God in this situation? We must remember that God is still in control. Scripture tells us that He is not taking His hands off and just say, I've done what I have needed to do. You all fend for yourself. And when it comes to be the time of judgment, I'll just deal with everything then. No, He's still very much in charge. And let us take comfort in that. Even though we may see difficulties everywhere we turn, let us hold on to the fact that He still very much is in control. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Please read the Word. Please study it. Reach out to us if you want to study scriptural matters further, and if you have needs that are of the spiritual nature and concerns of your spiritual relationship with the Lord, please reach out to us, because we want to address those and make sure that you are walking the right path. May God bless you. Until the next time, take care.